Morning, folks. Pastor Chuck Blair here. Great to have you joining me today for 10 minutes of morning common. And you got caught mid sip there. My apologies. So today, friends, what we're taking a look at is this beautiful piece where the animals we talked about getting loaded on the ark yesterday, Noah's Ark. We're looking at that as symbolically being loaded on the ark, and the good and the bad go on. You know, the hard emotions, the emotions, like it all gets loaded on. That's life. And we know when we go through really challenging times, remember we're talking about getting ready for a storm. Of course, there's going to be the real positive stuff and the real negative stuff. And our job, folks, is to just be accepting of both. Literally a prayer of acceptance. Like, Lord, help me to accept this positive thing. Say it out loud. Say it in prayer. And Lord, help me to accept this negative thing. Say it out loud. Say it in prayer. And an important one also to accept is to accept that place where, because most of the time we have worries around a possible future that we see as particularly dark, and have a prayer around, that as well. Like, Lord, help me to accept the possibility that this could be, fill in the blank, or this could happen. And just it's just saying it out loud. It's like trying to pull all the boogeymen out of the closet to expose them. And then what's interesting, now the story shifts, and this is so much kind of Christian new church perspective here. And the story shifts, and now it's about the birds get loaded on, right? And again, like, who cares? Birds get loaded on a boat. What's that all about? Well, when you read through it symbolically, it really is an incredible, incredible story. So think again, we're getting ready for storms here. We're getting ready to set sail, so to speak, in stormy times. And the good and the bad stuff's going to come along. And then there's these birds that get loaded as well. And so what is it that Emmanuel Swedenborg says these birds, where you could choose to picture them this way, which I found this really powerful. So the Bible passage, Genesis 7, verse 3, and of the bird of the heavens, seven each male and a female, to keep their seed alive on the face of the whole earth. Keep their seed alive. That's interesting right there. And then he goes on to say, hey, saying, consider this. That we can speak all kinds of things from the word and from our memory, but unless love for our fellow humans is what brings it to our lips, it is never holy. Oh, wow. That's really beautiful. Can no means by holy. That's a fascinating perspective, folks, because right, we get all these big things, kind of these big things in, and then there's these birds as well. There's these thoughts, these emotions that kind of are flittering around. And a part of it that it's talking about here, I believe, is the simple idea that we get to choose to come when we speak, to get to come, especially in the religious circles, to speak from one of two places. We can speak from truth, or we can speak from love. Now, are there times to clearly just speak from truth? Yeah, you know what? There are times. There clearly are. And more often than not, dollars to donuts, we also have to be super hyper attentive to speaking from here, to speaking from love, a loving voice. That love actually brings things to our mouth, brings things to words. As Swedenborg would say here, an old saying, bringing them to our lips. Think about that. Think about what does love bring to your lips? What's the words? What's the language? I mean, you could say bring to your lips. You could also say, what's the facial expression? What is that? And what is that for you? And how do you kind of see that all working? I think that's really a fascinating question, right? Because we can speak from truth, and we can speak from love. And there's something in the human condition that we want to be around people who are speaking from love. Now, can that sometimes be very difficult? Can that lead to the need to set a boundary, or to separate from someone who's challenging to be around at a particular time? Absolutely can be that. But the greater truth underneath it, folks, is that there's this deep love, and that this love has to be expressed. Like, that's what love wants to do. Like, love wants to express itself. And that's so true to just remember about life. Like, you're not going to make a lot of mistakes. I mean, maybe there are some, but if you're speaking from love, you're not going to make very many mistakes. And if you're speaking from love, you're sowing seeds. And if you're speaking from love, you're sowing seeds upon the earth, as the biblical passage goes. That you're spreading seed everywhere. Now, you have no idea where that goes. I mean, that's the beautiful part of seeds, is you have no clue where they'll take root or where it will matter to someone. I guarantee folks that there's some little seed somebody planted in your mind with a kind comment. It could have been a coach, could have been a teacher, could have been a parent, could have been a sibling, could have been a friend, some little tiny seed that they planted. And if you went back to them and thanked them for it, they would have no memory of it whatsoever. No memory of saying that thing. And that's significant, because our job is just to keep on planting those seeds and plant it by thinking again. I can speak from this, I can speak from truth, or I can speak from love. And it doesn't mean that love cannot be honest. It's super important. Of course, love can be honest. I mean, you think about the people you admire most are people who, in a loving way, are at the same time just very honest. Like nobody says, "Oh, you know what? They're so loving, but I really appreciate how dishonest they are." Like never said no one ever. Love does bring forth truth, and yet that truth, super critical truth from a Christian New Church perspective. Truth is the form that love takes. Think about that for a second. Truth is the form that love takes. I remember when I first heard that in seminary and thinking, that's revolutionary when you allow that in. So, folks, that's the takeaway for today: is let love do the talking, not you, not your ego, not your fears, your worries, anxieties, though they may need expressed and shared with a friend. Those things are true, but the real heart of the matter, allow the real heart of the matter to be the love of the matter, and to be this love that gives rise to speech, and that gives rise to the talking, to the conversation of life. So that's my thought for today, folks, and I'm looking forward actually tonight to I'm looking forward tonight. We have our launch of our 1,000 gifts small group, which will be starting tonight, and then we'll have another one tomorrow night. I mean, they're pretty much full. I mean, I would say they are full technically, but I know we have maybe one, maybe two more slots on Thursday night. If that has any interest to you, you can let Angela Cooper know, my assistant, and she will get you all signed up if that has interest to you this Thanksgiving season. So with that, friends, let's do our little meditation. Let's do our prayer. Let's do our blessing, and we'll say hi to folks on social media. So the first thing I'd ask you to do is get a breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dearest friends, let's take a quick little look here. Doop, doop. Takes me a second to get this all loaded up. I will say, too, we had anytime you folks are welcome to schedule, just if you want to just chat a little bit. Some folks have been doing that, and that is always super fun just to hear a little conversation going on with people. All right, so let's take a look here. Patricia, great to see you joining us this morning. Susan, good morning to you. Thanks for much needed rain here. Yeah, we have it out here too. It's sort of a wet and drizzly kind of day. Martha, great to see you joining us as always. Welcome, my friend. Sherry, I hope you're doing well and life is looking good. Marcus, look to be kind first, not right, and that is so important. It's a very famous New Church quote, Christian New Church quote, where Emanuel Swedenborg offers this perspective of what else is it to be. What else is a life of worship but a life of kindness? And I thought, oh, that's very, very good. Mary writes, love leans into each other's pain, doesn't take it away, but validates its reality. And that holding is like a warm blanket on a cold day. Yeah, and it's really well said, Mary. And it's interesting when being around, fortunate to be around people like that. And it's just interesting. They have a way without offering solutions, but somehow the listening becomes the solution. It's beautiful stuff. Paige, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Melissa, my dear friend, and great seeing you guys last night. Bottom line, lead with love and truth. Hard at times to speak it without our fears getting in the way. Progress over perfection. Being real. Have a great day. Yeah, and that is kind of interesting, right? Well, it's because it's not about not saying it, right? Like I think a lot of people can think, well, if I'm loving, I'll never say what's true. No. Loving people always say what's true. And I was out to dinner with some friends last night over at Kane and Brittany Lermitz, and anyhow, we got on this conversation about Martin Luther King. Like Martin Luther King is a very loving dude and very honest at the same time. So sort of you want to know what a model of love that gives rise to words. Read his "I Have a Dream" speech. I think that's such a great example of it. Sherry writes, good morning, and good morning to you, Sherry. Hope you're doing well. And Linda writes, good morning, and good morning to you, Linda. I hope you're doing well as well. All right, dear friends. Well, God bless. Hope you're doing well. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And I hope we can all let love do the talking on this Wednesday. Take care. Bye-bye.